Hello guys, and welcome back to Strategic Command World War II World at War with our first ever PvP against SirTravis. We just started Operation Barbarossa, declaring war on the USSR, destroying all of their border forces except for the one at Odessa, which is really no different for our PvE down here. But up here we've seen, I think, better success. I'm not sure. The borders are a little bit different. We've gotten artillery up in Finland. All in all, things are going pretty well. We've done most of Japan's turn, wiping out 2 more of his units that are around Chungking, proceeding, spending into research and other things. We're still pretty strapped for cash, it feels like. He's opened up this new front in North Africa that was really quiet this whole time until I went and attacked Siwa Oasis, and now it's starting to pick up. Now, since he's moved up, none of his units are entrenched. He gave up his entrenched positions to go on an offensive, which is what happened historically, but it hasn't gone as early as historically, and so this is the narrow area, right? This is impassable, so you could just ignore this being here at all. I'm gonna move the first army forward onto this hill where we don't currently actually have enough supply, but the reason I'm doing this is because there's a core here. Not only is there a core here, this core isn't upgraded with infantry weapons like the WDF army is. He just decided that this was when he was going to go on the offensive here. And of course, we still have the enemy Rhodesians down here in Siwa Oasis, so I feel like we're not going to be able to kill them this turn. Though, we are still kind of draining their power over time, so we could still pull something out over there. He does have another recon coming in this direction too, which I'm not excessively happy about, but tell you what I'm going to do. We'll take the Syracuse Corps here. I'm going to move this up to the center by this hill in Italy. We're going in Italy, Libya. We're going to move the 5th Army down here as a defensive fixture, but the idea is to get it here eventually, so we just have a front line entirely of armies backed up by corps and such. Supply improving here would be great. To do that, we're going to have to move Garibaldi forward. So let's move Garibaldi forward. And, still not good enough. We might have to swap these two out, but he could not get there this turn, so there's really nothing I could do about that. But a swap later would be sufficient. We'll use the medium bombers against his corps that he just moved up. He does have interceptors flying over this time. They are in range. We do have our escorts. We've dealt 1 damage to his escorts. He dealt 1 to mine. My bombers took 1 damage. And the game broke, but I hear damage. Okay. I heard 2 bits of damage, so I'm not quite sure what that was about, because we didn't take any more damage on the planes. But this should allow us to more effectively attack with this army, dealing an entire 4 damage, somehow taking 1 damage. Wow, the rolls here are not nearly as good as they were in Asia, but it is better than nothing. Now, how's supply over here? It's decent, could be better. Rather than upgrade this now, let's move it forward, the AE Corps, just to take this border position. It'll be able to upgrade if we need it to. And we're going to force march this one up behind Siwa Oasis to get it into position as soon as possible. It's hard to move through this desert, but the supply here should be decent enough, ideally. We took way more damage than I wanted to, but we are dealing out pretty decent damage as well. Let's attack the 3rd Corps. 2 damage dealt. Somehow, 1 taken. I have no idea how that happened. Let's just go ahead and attack with this one too if we're both injured anyway. 2 more damage. Oh my god. Oh wow, that actually got him to fall off. Whoa. I was not expecting that. Let's move the 3rd Corps forward. See what Oasis is mine now. He has no supply out here. Okay, so we did take way more casualties than I wanted to. That is a fact. However, we took Siwa Oasis, which was my goal. Even if these Rhodesian special forces get out of here, he's going to need everything. He's going to put everything over here. Everything over here. Because this is where his supply is going to be. He's not going to have supply out here now that we took Siwa Oasis. I imagine he might even have 0 on these next turn. I fully believe that that is possible. 113 MPPs remaining is Italy. Let's go ahead and let's transport these tanks. Get them down there. Send them down like this, like so, and then move them down here. They're going to go around and kind of guard this front, though I doubt he'll move through it. We have way more HQs down here than him, though, even if we are at a disadvantage in basically every other way. We're also going to move the Rome Corps down here, and he might see these landing, I'm not sure. But now we have another corps down here, upgraded and ready to go. Italy's entire army is basically down here. There's no other fighting forces they have that are not garrisons except for in Ethiopia. And that's like one corps. This is essentially the entire Italian army. And we have them fighting in a very narrow front, which is good. That can play to their strength a little bit. Sort of. This is where I kind of wish I had some heavy artillery. Because in this narrow front, this could start coming very in handy. But we don't need to push all the way to Cairo. We will try. But it's not absolutely necessary. I'm going to move the 3rd garrison down to Rome, but then I think these 3 garrisons are just going to stay put for now. 59 MPPs remaining, and I think we're just going to hold on to it. Not a lot that we can do with that. We'll have a lot of things suspended on next turn, regardless of how aggressive he is. That corps is going to have to move back. I think he will try to be offensive with that army, probably combo with this tank against this army right here. That's what I'm expecting. But it's fine, we have another army right next to it, and this is on a hill. So even if we're not entrenched, we do have some extra bonuses at least. And at the very least, we're equal with him in terms of our total tech. These tanks may not be upgraded. Hopefully they're not, because mine are not. And we're starting to push the UK a little bit. Even though he started the push, I'm meeting it with a bit of a counter push here. He's starting to get aggressive and hopefully spending, because now, honestly, the UK is probably going to be locked to Africa. He's probably going to put everything he has here. And he has the money to outperform us. He certainly does. He is spending on Navy and probably Homeland defenses as well. But if he dedicates everything to fighting Italy, he can beat us. He can, and I don't know if he knows that. 29 MPPs remaining as Japan. I'm just going to spend 25 of that reinforcing this DEI fighter a little bit, get it to a position where I could easily reinforce it in one turn when the time comes. I believe we've done all the offensive things we're going to do. Anything else we could do has a decent projection that we might actually lose some units, and I don't feel like losing units in unnecessary places unless we're going to be accomplishing something. So that's pretty much everything we're going to be doing as Japan. It is still worth noting, look up here, Russia's in the war. They could come for us. They could. He may choose to be aggressive here. He could definitely try. I'm going to move the Jinzhou garrison just back to Harbin because we didn't really save any points to upgrade it. I got the 2 units that he could see on the border upgraded at the very least, so maybe he'll think twice. Well, he can't even really see this one, but he can see this one. So if he does try to push in from these directions, then he'll meet a stiffer resistance. And if he does push in at all, we're going to operate some dudes to help. And we have plenty of spare units on the rails, ready to go if need be. I don't necessarily think he will do this, because this is a dumb idea to do, I think, without some good preparation. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if just to try to get some salvation in China, he goes for this. Either way, in my head, I am prepared. I'm going to have to let him in a little bit, unfortunately, but I think we're prepared. I think I'm ready to respond if we need to. Hopefully we don't need to, but you know, if it happens, it happens. If he doesn't do that, he'll probably send them over to Germany. Germany will be able to make good work of them. With this narrow tunnel of a front, ignoring the Baltics, we'll chew through more of his men on the way through. So that'll be more difficult than my PvE, but we'll be more likely to get that more immediate surrender. When it comes to Ethiopia, we're just gonna stay put. I don't want to weaken this garrison for no reason, even if we can potentially get 2 kills. I mean, you know, losing 1 off a garrison and killing 2, that's pretty fucking nice. But he also just, him having 0 supply here just means he's gonna continue to bleed out. And even if he doesn't, him attacking an entrenched upgraded unit is never gonna be easy for him. And he's just moved away everywhere else. So far, my mistake with the Italian East Africans, they are not going to screw me over. Otherwise, he's staying still just basically everywhere. He's going to win here eventually. That was always part of the plan. I always decided that he would. But honestly, I mean, just look at this. He's going to have a tough time. He's having a tough time. He just can't figure this front out. And honestly, while I have some free MPPs as Italy, I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to give infantry weapons to these garrisons defending these islands. They're not important. But if he does ever try a landing, which he might, because I don't think he knows how to really evaluate value as much. He might see Sardinia as a great launching point into an invasion into Italy. He might see Rhodes as an annoyance that he wants to clear up and take out. And he may put points into trying to land there or bomb there or something. So just preparing them, I think, wouldn't be too bad. Total of 20 MPPs spent overall. I really don't think that's so bad. And then that's pretty much everything that we can and will do this turn. So let's go ahead and hit end turn. People of the Soviet Union fear war with Germany. Well, it's already here. Communist partisan activity in China. What a surprise. Well, that's Manchuria. UK starts Arctic supply convoys, yeah. Spanish phalangists attack the British embassy in Madrid, okay. Al-Boli dies during an air raid. Hot, get fucked, even though I haven't done any air raids. We got Indie Tech level 1 is Japan, okay, so a little more MPPs coming in as them. Ending with 600 MPPs after all this stuff. With Germany, 109 collected as Italy, and yeah, we're getting a little bit more as Japan. That's always nice. Okay, no big decisions to do, so still plenty of time left. We'll just have to wait for him to get the turn back to us, and then we will continue. All right, we got the turn replay back from Travis, and boy, let me tell you, he was real happy. Sarcasm. To see we had declared war on the Soviet Union. Oh man. Alright, let's see. He's already running that tank away. Interesting. To Cherkasy. Guess it's just to help defend his line, but alright. Running that battle cruiser, heavy cruiser away. He was so sad about this. He thought I knew that there was a carrier there, which I learned there is because he told me. Ooh, nice. 1 for 1 against a core. I'm happy about that. But now I know there was a carrier there for sure, and he was confident that I was setting up to kill it, and he said there was nothing he could do to stop me, and he said I should just sink his entire navy because it's worthless. That's what he told me. Bombing me in Ethiopia, 1 damage dealt. Nothing to be, like, it's not unexpected. Okay, he's trying to bombard me with a battleship. Oh yeah, that defensive already getting to work instantaneously. 1 damage dealt to the attacker. We took 2. I expected this. 1 damage received, so that's against an army, which is pretty good. We took another 1 damage dealt. Wow, his armies are getting fucked up. Holy shit. He's being so aggressive. What? Dude. I'm so confused. What he just gave up Odessa. He was like entrenched in Odessa, and I've already done this in the PvE. It would have taken me forever to take Odessa. That would have slowed me down so much, and he just paid money to transport that unit out of there rather than just let it hold me back. Ukraine industry goes to the Urals. What a surprise. Yeah, we raided Egypt, Sudan, South Africa, New Zealand. Arctic supplies going. Special forces suffer attrition losses, desert recon, probably all in Egypt. Holy shit. Alright, we might have a lot to talk about here. This likes to take a lot of time to load at this point and then just like show me what units are ready, I've noticed. Or sometimes there's an event. Japan is advised to blockade Vladivostok. The US is shipping supplies to the Soviet Union via Vladivostok. We can prevent this by placing a naval unit in any of the marked hexes adjacent to Vladivostok. However, if we do this, the Soviet Union can respond by attacking and damaging our ships. That's an event, by the way. Impeding the flow of supplies will also give Stalin a motive for going to war against us, so it may actually be better to let these supplies reach the USSR. Alternatively, we could stop supplies reaching the USSR via the Pacific by invading and capturing any of the following locations: Honolulu, so Hawaii, Pearl Harbor, Los Angeles, San Francisco, or Vladivostok. Okay, I just want to comment on a couple things here that really surprised me. So, he bombarded with a battleship. I don't know what he hopes to do with that. Like, starve me out with supply, and then what? He's just going to advance, leave his fortifications? Does he think he could just blitz Finland? Is that his goal here? Blitz Finland? He's moved up here. And so good thing I upgraded this. I might want to upgrade more. He's probably going to run right through here. He seems like he's set to do that. So, I think I was smart to upgrade this. He's going to go full offensive. You know why? I bet I know why. I doubt he planned to do this. I think it's just he's so tired of being on the back foot. Any chance to take an offensive, he'll take. So we may not end up pushing with this artillery, but we're going to end up beating the crap out of him, I think. I might need to pull it back a little bit if he keeps just going this heavy right here, because now we don't really have supply to reinforce this because of that bombardment. And so we might just want to base out of Helsinki and move everything back a touch and just let him have Viipuri for now. I will say that offensive of his was totally fucking botched. He only dealt 3 damage to a core. He took 4 damage across armies. That was so botched. That was so botched. So that's pretty good for us. This setup is a little weird though. Let's move this HQ out of the way. I think I'll give him Vipuri, because if he moves up further out of his fortifications, you know, his attack will just be worse. We're definitely gonna upgrade this army. We'll skip mobility for now, because he's going on the offensive. I didn't think he would, but here he comes. So we'll move the Arty back. We'll move the Helsinki Corps up. Not really sure where this guy is gonna go though. If I want to base this HQ like out of Helsinki. What's supply look like next turn with this? Not very good. This needs to end up on Helsinki, is one concern of mine. But we could always just swap this out a little bit. I don't know. He's in a pickle. Okay, I have an idea. We'll move up here with the Helsinki Corps, so he still has movement. So do you. We'll move you up there, and then we'll just swap. And now you can just recover. Put the HQ here on Helsinki. We'll have more than enough supply everywhere. 2 guys on the main front are kitted out, good to go. Already ready to use some defensive shells. He'll step on Vipuri. This will reset his supply there. He will take something, but it's fine. This is a better defensive front than moving up and trying to defend that any further. Because he's also just going to keep sabotaging the supply bombarding, even though it's not actually the smartest. It means we also get a better supplied front to defend from. And he's going to be pushing and probably botching it continuously. We'll put infantry weapons on this garrison right here. And the game's going to autosave, interrupting what I'm doing, which is fucking annoying. It still does this, by the way. I cut most of it out, but it still does this, which is really annoying. We'll upgrade the one up here as well with infantry weapons, because he might come up this way as well. We don't really know. I really didn't think he'd go so heavy up here. I might want to buy more things up here if he's going to go this heavy up here. I don't know. We'll see. But also, I can't believe he paid money to transport the unit out of Odessa. Odessa's a pretty nice place to defend, and he paid money to retreat it. I don't think that was worth it, but clearly he did. The Dnieper seems to be where he wants to take his stand. Okay, fair enough. But that makes my job here easier. I thought these guys had the harder job. They actually had a pretty easy job because he just ran away, surprisingly. There's still nothing at Minsk, nothing at Wilno, meaning he's not planning to defend from us here. He's only planning to defend out here. So that initial shock and awe, I don't know, shock and awe. That initial shock, that strike we did where we just wiped everything out, worked pretty well, because anything else that didn't get wiped out, he retreated to what he wants to be his defensive line, which is probably just entirely this river? I can't imagine he's leaving this undefended. Alright, we took Siwa Oasis last turn, so it's these guys that are dying, running out of supply. Okay, okay. And he's pulled back again. I didn't even notice that during the playback. He completely canceled his offensive and retreated. I wonder why that is. He had a thing going for him there. I wonder why he just completely gave up on it. And then like these guys are just stuck out here or something. I don't know. They didn't retreat. Why does he always do that? Have you noticed that? With China, he did a big offensive. I actually talked him into thinking this was a bad idea. And then he retreated. This one, I actually told him, I didn't talk to him about it at all until he had already done his turn. And he just completely called off the offensive here. He did like a little bit of bombing, but other than that, he's completely pulled back. I wonder why. Why does he like start these offensives and then give up on them? That's so strange. I wonder what his plan is, if he has a plan. There are so many new Japanese things to deploy, it's fucking insane. We got Special Forces at Roy Namawadabadaba. Special Forces at Naha. We have a fucking plane in the way at Naha. We got Special Forces for Babelthwap. We got Saipan. Gets the Special Forces. Truck gets the Special Forces. Hiroshima gets an HQ. Hiroshima gets the Special Forces. Hiroshima again gets the Special Forces. Jesus Christ, man. Hiroshima again gets a fucking army. Jesus Christ. Okay. We get another submarine to work with. I just deploy that anywhere, I guess. Probably sail it out to a more forward location. Put it right there. The Naha one, I mean, I probably gotta move this TAC bomber first. This TAC bomber is just heading in there. It can only get so far right now. But it's heading this way, so let's just fly it to Amoy. for now, so we can deploy the special forces. At Naha has so many special forces, man. And a garrison that I bought. Deploy that to get that to the main part of China. Just want to get all of those deployed and out of my hair. I think Ethiopia is going to be pretty easy to tackle. We just reinforce this. Keep it up. If surviving will hold him back and keep more income, I guess what, like 10 MPPs from falling into his hands? This down here didn't have any MPPs, so he hasn't taken anything actually worth anything yet, so that's cool. He's getting hung up on garrisons, and he ran away from the actual Abyssinia core, which is funny, because again, I didn't deploy all the extra stuff here to defend this, and honestly, at this point, I feel like if I had deployed the extra stuff down here to defend this, I feel like I could hold him here indefinitely forever. But then I wouldn't have all the extra stuff up here. And this is pretty valuable for what we're working with. And so, I mean, shit, dude. We definitely want to try to keep hurting this desert recon. Let's go ahead, and we're not going to use the air. Just attack normally. So we dealt 3 damage, and the enemy retreated a little bit. Supply here is not too fantastic, not too bombastic or anything. Well, not that it is for him either. Both of these suffered attrition losses this past turn, so we'll move up and we'll, oh my god, look how little health any of them have, bro. What is this? The special forces probably need to take damage first. Let's see what Blitz it. Oh my god, we got lucky. Holy shit. We dealt 3 damage and completely shattered it. So that special forces, dead. This recon almost dead, but we got nothing else in range to actually work that out. I'm doing a lot of jumping around the map right now because there's just too much going on. I need to digest the little microcosms before I start tackling the big things. One thing that he complained about was the fact that even after attacking the USSR, he still doesn't have Lend-Lease. I guess 38% is not enough to activate this, so America's still just stockpiling all MPPs that they make. So America's gonna pop out pretty strong, at the very least, but the UK is suffering, right? And if he is sending MPPs to Russia through the UK has a lot less to send, so that weakens Russia. But also, with less available to send, that means less available to the UK. If he's actually sending stuff over here, which I don't have any raiders up there at the moment, then the UK is going to have even less. So, stronger America to deal with later, but UK, USSR, not quite as capable right now. It's time to annoy him by once again rocketing his stuff. Make him lose a little bit of MPPs for a turn. Very little, mind you. Probably like 3 MPPs right now, but it's enough to upset him and make him panic a little bit, which is good for me. God, we're like finishing research and we are not keeping up with pouring MPPs back into research, but I've been putting at least 1 research in per turn, which staggering it out, that'll be helpful. Also, I find it really, really cute that he put this sub here. He's trying to get me with a trap. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to get me with a trap. The exact kind of trap that I do. This doesn't have enough supply. Then we're probably not going to reinforce this or anything this turn. It's fine. We'll move that back to like Hanko, where we'll just always have supply no matter what. Don't know why it's like that. Maybe because we moved this. I'm not really sure. This guy, now he's rating 8. That's a great general. That's pretty good. Don't know why he's so weird. But regardless, what the hell was I just talking about? I completely forgot. Immediately, the easiest thing to do here will be to move up my HQs a bit, so Von Rundstedt can get here pretty easily, even though he's the worst one. There's nothing directly around Wilno. Von Lieb can move up to Minsk. Nothing directly around Minsk, and we could definitely get units up and around these locations. Keep an eye on them. We have so many cores that just did not get upgraded, which is hilarious. I know I'm bouncing around a lot, but I want to make sure we don't forget to upgrade this sub, because last time I put a sub here, I forgot to upgrade it. So let's go ahead, upgrade that. These subs are interesting too. He ran everything away. I love how he thought I was setting up to kill a carrier. So where could that carrier be? Does that mean he has a carrier right here that isn't here? Because if it's in the port and he thinks I can kill it, that's really impressive. Regardless, even if I could kill it, like submarines, these aren't meant for going after someone offensively. So I'm not here to try to use it offensively. Didn't he have destroyers over here too? They just never showed up to like attack these. It's quite an interesting choice that he made. But my whole goal is to get this low supply sub down here. Hope he doesn't fucking have anything right here. Let's find out. Send the Coast Guards up to Brest and nothing got in its way. So U-73 will go get some more supply and a chance to upgrade right there. And there you go. They're where I want them to be. Get reinforced, upgraded, advanced subs, just like the Catfish. We definitely don't want to forget to reinforce the Iraqi garrison. It's doing great work for us so far. Unfortunately, it's right next to it, so next turn when we have 5 supply, we won't be able to upgrade. But keep it at 5 strength, and he might just attrit away. He's only got 2 supply where he is. And we're entrenched, and we will stay entrenched if he keeps trying to solo this. It's way less money to put in, you know, than he can take. And the whole time it stays alive, we're just getting this oil. I can't believe he hasn't stepped on this oil. He just wants to bum rush the capital so quick. He needs to step on this oil. Just take everything around. Like, Baghdad doesn't matter that much. You could wait to set that shit up. Or you could play by the mechanics, but I don't think he actually knows the mechanics that he paid for, by the way. Let's move up with the 14th Army to right about hither. See what we can find. It's nothing along this little river right here. I wonder if there's just nothing at all past this region. The armies can only get so far. I'm afraid to move up too far and then just run into something, you know? Let's move the 3rd Army forward into the field here. Supply won't be the greatest going this far out, but it's not terrible. It will improve. I feel like it's just, like, yeah, supply here is so bad that it's actually just coming from Warsaw, being bounced by von Manstein, and then von Lieb and von Rundstedt just kind of bounce it off further from there, and that's how it's going to stay. Because even if these go up to 5 supply, it's going to be kind of the same supply values. So until we move like more HQs forward, I think supply might stay kind of like this up on the front. We'll move this one, the 10th Army, forward probably even more. Not exactly sure to where. This would be able to see both of these, so I think I might take a kind of recon approach. Holy mother of Soviets! Jesus Christ! Yeah, I figured he would set something up like that. It'd be funny. I wonder if this might tempt him to kind of step off his defenses and attack these armies, or if he'll just brace like, uh-oh, here they come. He loves going on the offensive when he thinks he can. Now we know this road is clear, and I could put some tanks up to defend this stuff, so I'm not too worried about that. Good thing I did not move up here. I didn't actually think Orsha would be on his front line of defense. I did not think that it would, but it is. So there's that. We definitely want to get a front line up against him, so we'll move the 8th Army forward up to Orsha. We can already do some damage with a blitz attack, and then we could also get tanks up there. I'm not sure exactly where to move the tanks yet. One problem is we've moved from literally like here, this line, to we're already up here in a span of like 1 turn. So my planes are all just in the back and not ready to do anything. They don't have long range air upgrades, and even if they did, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, they wouldn't be in range to bomb anything. They would need multiple upgrades to be able to attack from all the way back here. And other than these armies, which I've already pushed up, and now these tanks, most of this stuff is just cores that are not even fully upgraded yet. I see no reason not to move the Africa Corps tank up to here. It's the only, well, they could both get there, you know, but only one can get here. Definitely a lot of good chance to do damage here. Gomel is pretty just strategically defended, but he's got a big line right here. The Moscow Corps ended up over here. Really? What's on Moscow then? He's got to have something on Moscow, right? He didn't just leave Moscow undefended. It's funny this is like all a big defense. He floated the idea of attacking the Baltic states, and I wonder if he would ever do that. I do wonder. But with such a massive attack force that will be kind of massive, right? It doesn't actually look very massive. There's a lot of cores, but, you know. Got 3 armies lined up right here. This is the weak point. These cores are the weak points. Armies are strong, but if I don't go straight through them, and he's lined them up in a line, he didn't spread them out at all, then we can get through. Gomel is also particularly vulnerable, though we will have to see how that goes because we are out of time for this episode, so we'll tackle a lot of this next episode. So this has started. Hope you guys are enjoying how this series is going. Let me know how you think this war is going to go from this point onwards. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.